Last week's What Wednesday question talked about what are some ways to make passive income on the road. This week's What Wednesday question is going to talk about some ways that you can make money on the road through hands-on work.
What?
So the big benefit for hands-on work versus passive is that you can start making money right away because it's based on you being there, you doing something. The passive stuff we talked about last time is more about the slow cooker recipe of working your way up, but then once you've got it going and rolling on its own, it's really nice because you can make the money no matter what you're doing and where you're at. I guess the first set of ways to make money hands-on would be looking for a way to transition your current job into something mobile. And we've talked to several people that have done this. It's kind of surprising. More and more companies are allowing people that work for them to do what they're doing from home. And if you can do your job from home, as long as you have a stable internet connection, chances are you could do your job from the road as well.
Some people we've talked to, they didn't even know that was an option for them, but once they talked to their company, they were able to work from home, and then they even transitioned from the road, and it was no problem. So,
and we've heard different approaches. I know one person we talked to said that of course, the company started allowing people to work from home, and then they went ahead and hit the road on RV and never even told anybody they were in an RV. Most of the companies still assumed that they were living in a house, and so months later, when they finally... That was exciting. It's crazy exciting. So months later, when they finally told the company that, hey, we've been in an RV for the last 4 months, and the company didn't even realize they've been in an RV, I mean, what's the company going to do? I mean, they've obviously been doing a great job at work, and you just keep rolling with it. So I thought that was a tactic, I guess, that we heard about doing. And so some of the jobs that we've heard of people being able to make this transition from, being at work to being able to be mobile. Usually they're more technical jobs. There's something involving the phone, but I mean, telemarketing type stuff. Of course, web design. I know a web designer that the company's actually in Denver, and he lives pretty much all the way across the country, but he only has to check in maybe once every couple of months with them in Denver.
And some jobs offer, even if you're doing a job, they offer other positions that would be able to be mobile. I know for me as a nurse, there are options to take nursing mobile, whether it be travel nursing or working for an insurance company and using the phone to follow up with patients. So those were options that, until I looked into it, I didn't even know truly existed. That I thought, oh, I'm a nurse, I'm stuck at the hospital where I'm at. But there are definitely ways to look into your career of having other options to take it mobile.
There's a lot of jobs and places and companies that it's busier in different parts of the country at certain times. I know with nursing, I mean, there was say they have a lot of people quit at once or just an influx of people coming in. I mean, there's places that wanted her to travel to where they're at to be a nurse. And I know there's businesses, I know Home Depot was one of them I heard, where you could kind of float from Home Depot to Home Depot based on who needed you the most for a certain amount of time. So that might be something, especially if you're in a larger company that has these different areas around the country you could float to. Or if you're in a smaller company that doesn't do that, and you could move to a larger company that would allow you to float around. Typically they pay better if you can move around like that, because people don't want to move around. I mean, they want to stay put. So it's almost an advantage sometimes if you're willing to move around and do this hands-on work.
We've run into a couple people who, one was doing hail damage repair on RVs. So every time there was a big hailstorm somewhere, they would take off and travel to that area and get lots of work repairing RVs for hail damage.
And cars, trucks, I mean anything really, any vehicle that had hail damage. They followed the storms, so it's kind of like a storm chaser.
Which that's a great idea if that's a skill of yours.
Yeah.
Or we ran into someone who in Albuquerque at the Balloon Fiesta, there was a guy parked there that had a huge sign that said RV repairs. So I bet he did really well there with 2,000
all over the place.
RVs.
Yeah. And so, and that may be his tactic. He may just, every month or two, he may just go to a large event where he knows there's lots of RVs and slap up a sign and just wait for the business to come pouring in.
That might be all the business he needs all year.
I don't know, yeah.
There's a lot of RVs there.
And so that's kind of the idea of this theme of following the work is really cool to do, where you're looking for demand and you're trying to come in with how you can provide value and do those things. But I mean, we talk to people that cut hair and carpet cleaning and
even artwork.
Art shows.
They do their art and go to on the road and go to shows and sell their pieces.
Some stuff that I think's up and coming. I think drone photography and videography is up and coming, and I think what's cool about that is you just you get on the phone, you hustle, you find the clients, and you can travel to these places to do this work. Whereas somebody's business might be in the middle of nowhere, and there may not be anybody doing drone stuff there. So you're just looking for these ways where you can provide value.
What about that guy with Google?
Oh yeah. There's a guy we met. He went. Of course, I knew somebody had to do this. I guess I just didn't imagine. But he was Google had hired him out as a third party to go to larger businesses and do it's called Google 360, I think maybe. But it's where you get a 360 camera and you're walking around inside of a business. So if people, it's like Google Maps or Street View, but it's inside of a business, so it makes sense. So if you wanted to go to a certain amusement park or business or something, you could actually feel like you're walking around inside of it. And that's what he did. He went around and for Google, and he was a Google representative, but he got to travel and just go to these places and do that. So yeah,
there's so many options.
Yeah,
you might have to get a little bit creative sometimes, but we're just at a really good time where there's so much work online or being mobile. It's a really good time because the internet's so broad right now.
Yeah. Some of these, if you already got the experience, you might be able to start right up by getting client referrals and that kind of thing. Other ones, you might have to do it really cheaply for the first few clients and just ask for great reviews and have them as referrals, and then use those referrals to go to people to be able to make money. Another one too, that a lot of people have heard of when it comes to RVing is work camping, which is where you're sort of following the work. You're looking for a place you'd like to visit and a place where they're looking for somebody to be a camp host to help keep things running, keep things tidy. And in exchange for you doing those things for the campground, you get to stay, a lot of times you get to stay for free while you're there. And I think the goal of this video is not to list every single job you could possibly do on your own while you're on the road. It's to just have that mindset of how can I take what I know, what I do, and be able to make that mobile. Or even if I don't have the skills yet, how can I start to have those skills? How can I start from scratch and look for ways to be able to take what I do on the road? It can definitely seem overwhelming. We don't have it down yet. We've tried to spread out our income.
So those are some tips and ideas we have for making hands-on income on the road. So if you have any other ideas, questions, or comments, let us know.